All right, welcome, kings and queens. Today we are talking, yes, yet again, love and marriage, Huntsville. It's the weekend. Dear Love and Marriage, Huntsville cast, I don't need y'all to pull not another stunt this weekend because I have plans this weekend. I have plans of enjoying myself. I have plans of catching up on other content. Make this my last update on today, and I hope y'all sit still until Saturday. I wanted to come on really quickly and actually respond to the divorce proceedings. Not the divorce, I'm sorry, y'all, the custody proceedings and just some of the things that were outlined and or addressed by the judge. I just want to give my take on it based on my knowledge of how custody cases work. In the words of a Baptist preacher, I won't be long, I promise. I will not be long in the pulpit. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to respond to the documentation that Make It Make Sense was able to get a hold of and give his viewpoint of what he was reading. Please feel free to go over to his channel and listen to his version and his viewpoint on everything. I'm just going to listen and play the audio and then just kind of give my feedback really quickly about my thoughts. All right, so are y'all ready?
He said, I don't have anything against gay people, but...
I love people being free. But when it comes to my children, well, our children, I don't want to put them in a position where anything could possibly happen,
Okay, Martell, here's the part where I got to call BS. When it comes to your children, you don't want men around them, specifically Marcus, Melody's brother. And if my memory serves me correctly, I remember you saying that you did have a problem with his sexual orientation and his married status, okay? And you did not want him influencing your children one way or the other, okay? So if you are so concerned about your children, then why are you having them around Arion? The same woman who has lost her shit on the internet over and over and over again, drunk as a skunk, yelling obscenities about your wife, drunk as a skunk, talking about how you licked her up and down, okay? The same woman that you allegedly had a heated altercation with, that you allegedly had to go to timeout in a jail cell. So Arion and her children can be around your children, but not the children's biological family. Oh, okay.
It says, since the inception of the current litigation, both parents at various times have demonstrated to the court an inability to co-parent and have displayed an inability to follow the court's orders.
See how the judge would come to that conclusion, because when you're dealing with child custody cases, they don't care, nor do they take anything into consideration outside of that has anything to do with your personal dynamics between each other. So even if Melody went to the judge and said, hey, listen, I'm trying to co-parent with this guy, but this man tends to pop up, stalk, put me on camera on a date, all of that goes out the window to the judge. They want y'all to be able to get through that. They do not take into consideration anything, because to them it has nothing to do with the children, even if you feel like you're in danger, unless it's so obvious that the man or the woman is an imminent threat. So I can most certainly see how the judge did not take into consideration Martell's behaviors and came to the conclusion that, hey, listen, y'all not really trying to co-parent like I need you to. And also, probably not understanding why Melody has blocked Martell, right? When it comes to I cannot allow this man to have complete access to me under the guise of co-parenting, because along with that comes a lot of trouble for me, a lot of woes, a lot of spying, a lot of harassment, a lot of mental anguish.
They're getting on both of them. This court has had to address this behavior through staunch admonishments in open court to both parents, as well as the entry of sanction orders against the father.
Oh, yeah. Sanction orders against the father. Yeah. Martell has been out of compliance for quite some time. I mean, we have to consider how long they've been going through this custody case. And that man had not successfully completed his therapeutic sessions and his family counseling that he was assigned to for God knows what, over 9 months ago, if not longer.
During the current trial, the court has found the testimony of both parents to be less than genuine.
Yeah. Oh, so I know people that have personally gone through court custody cases, and what they expect is for both of you to work on the behalf of the well-being of the children, period, point blank. Okay. And considering the dynamics that both Mel and Martell have had over the course of the last 3 years, I would probably say each one have presented strong arguments based on the way they feel the arrangement should be, and how they view each other. So I can see how the judge would utilize a word in the genuine interest of themselves and not the children. I wouldn't necessarily say because they were caught in a lie. It's probably like, listen, we've gone through this. We've revised the paperwork. He's asking for this. Your attorney has rebutted, and we just cannot come together in the genuine interest of the children. So that's just my thoughts on that, because I've personally supported someone that went through a custody case. And listen, you can go around and around and around and around and around. And at some point, depending on how many revisions there have been, a judge would probably feel like, okay, this is coming off as disingenuous, because if we're talking about the well-being of the children, how come we have not wrapped this up as quickly as we could have?
The court acknowledges that the father has made positive strides and is placing his children's best interest first.
Well, damn, it's about time. Look how long it took him. If y'all know anything about custody cases, I'm sure the judge is referring to the sanctions that Martell should have adhered to over a year ago. So now he's probably run out of excuses, and he's probably finally able to participate and or attend family therapy and whatever else that the judge had assigned him to. So in her opinion, that's absolutely correct. He has begun making positive strides, and she can only address him because, to my knowledge, regarding the custody case, Melody didn't have anything to work on. It was Martell that needed to go to family therapy based on some questionable events that happened while the children were in his care. And it's funny that he's concerned about the well-being of his kids being in someone else's care. But yeah, didn't your child get injured in your care, sir? So now you finally took the appropriate steps that you were supposed to take a long time ago. So yeah, he has made positive strides, and that's fair for the judge to say. I don't think she addressed Melody because Melody was not ordered to undergo any intensive therapy, intensive family counseling and or therapy, y'all. And I'm just being as fair as possible. So is the judge. And so that's why she called out and kind of gave Martell a pat on the back.
The mother has continued to demonstrate to this court an inability to co-parent. She has blocked the father from her previous cell phone on multiple occasions, and by her own admission, blocked him for periods in excess of a month.
Yeah, that would, remember, the judge don't care about nothing else. The judge don't care about somebody's happening to your phone. The judge don't care about Martell, doing what he does, and Martelling. They don't care about anything outside of that, what he does to Melody. Only if he inflicts a harm and or pose a danger to the children. So pretty much Melody's on her own when it comes to any concerns that she has regarding Martell's behavior towards her. So the judge cannot take that into consideration. And as a result, Melody would come across as not willing to co-parent when she chooses to block Martell when his behavior escalates.
Now, Martell has kind of become a beacon for single fathers who are fighting for their rights.
Martell is not a beacon of single fathers who is fighting for his rights because he's always had rights to the children. His rights were never taken away from him. As a matter of fact, Melody's response, the reason why they are in court is because Martell, that's my dogs coming in the back. Martell wanted to take Melody's rights away from her. So I just want to make sure that we get that right. Melody has been fair from out the gate. She's been fair than most women would be, right? It's not just a woman that's been cheated on. Also, in my personal opinion, there's some abuse, some emotional abuse, some harassment, torment going on behind the scenes. And I don't think she's been as upfront as she could have been regarding Martell. Girl, I would expose his ass so quick, because when we hold back and we tend to have a heart towards men like that, this is what happens. He becomes a beacon for single fathers that are fighting for their rights to their kids. Martell has rights, y'all. Let's not confuse it. Melody agreed. 50-50 split. Asking for no money. Name me 10 women. 5. Let's just start with 5. You know what? Let's go with 3 that would do that on the behalf of a man. I just wanted to clear that up.
The kids are not allowed to film. Let me pull that up. It says the minor children shall not participate or be filmed for television or any other social media platform without leave of court or until the children reach the age of maturity.
So that was Martell all day, every day. I pretty much summed that up before this court document came out. I did that, I think, in 2 videos ago. I said, that wasn't good intent behind that. Martell's angle was, if Knox can't be with my kids on television, then they can't be on TV. So it's really disheartening, because he's doing it because he didn't get his way with Arion being on Love and Marriage Huntsville. He didn't get his way with trying to integrate his outside child in television scenes with his Eminem kids, okay? Which I think you shouldn't do. I don't think kids should be leveraged to personify or clean up your image. I think but I just wanted to say, he did that out of spite, not out of love. He did that out of spite because he didn't get his way with probably what he wants to go on. And also, could it be Martell? Okay, let me be quiet. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna hold that for later, for members only.
He's asking the court to ask her all of these very intrusive questions.
Are y'all really shocked that Martell is asking the court to do a deep dive so intrusively, so offensively into Melody's personal life? Y'all, this man is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so much so that he doesn't know the difference between abnormalities and being completely normal. He cannot put on a front. He cannot fake being sane. The amount of access that he needs and wants. Really? About this woman who she slept with post-divorce. Where do they live? Where's their address? Y'all, do that seem normal to you? And yet y'all praise him because he puts on suits? Martell, there is something horribly wrong about Martell, about the way Martell thinks and the way Martell behaves. And this is why he's blocked. And this is why it probably comes off as Melody not being willing to be a good co-parent. Because if you give a Negro an inch, they'll take a yard.
What banking institutions, credit card companies, gas companies, credit unions, or software applications, including but not limited to Bitcoin, PayPal, and CashApp, have you held accounts in, either individually or through a legal entity, since the date of your divorce from the defendant? Why does he need to know where all of her money is?
A part of that is normal for his attorney to ask. That's perfectly normal with him. He goes from being sane to insane. But a part of that financial ask, a part of it, I ain't saying all of it, is perfectly normal in child custody proceedings.
Have you ever struck, slapped, kicked, or used any type of physical force against a defendant or any of your children?
I hope if he's referring to himself, not the children, I hope she went upside your damn head with a baseball bat.
Have you ever threatened to strike, slap, kick, or harm the defendant or any of your children or family members?
I hope she went up and told you she was going to pull up on you and knock all your front teeth out.
It's a little weird to me. How many times did you meet a person for romantic or reasons during your custodial times with your minor children since the divorce from the defendant?
Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I guess the question would be, how many times did you have Hester Prynne in your bed while your children were in your home? Huh? Hester Prynne, a.k.a. Coleslaw. How many times did you have Hester over while your kids were in a different room? Did you reveal that? Did you talk about that? All right, so we're not going to waste any more time on Martell. We're about to head into the weekend and have a fantastic time. That's what Martell is doing. He needs to be worried about his name being on that paperwork for SCOT. Okay? Did you tell the judge that? Did you say that, Martell? That you're still listed? Since you worried about what Melody's doing. Did you tell the judge how many times you've been with Arion while your kids were in your house? Did you count those times? Or is it only specific to Melody?